Hello, this is Mr. Chabry, and we are here with another narrated Pokemon battle. So this is going to be a mixed tier match against Battousai, and the Pokemon on my team that I've been wanting to use for a while is going to be Typhlosion. I haven't used Typhlosion in a good while, and I think it's time to bring it back. One of the things that Battousai wanted for this match is that no two Pokemon have the same item, so you're going to see that I made sure that none of these Pokemon are carrying the same item. I'm going to lead off with my Mega Manectric here, as my opponent leads off with the Kricketune. So Krickatune's a Pokemon I've never even seen competitively. I don't think it really can do that much. It's not that powerful. So I'm going to just Volt Switch though, get the Intimidate on it, just in case it has some sort of surprise niche that it can fill, or maybe it can actually do a lot. I don't know. And I'm going to bring in Hippowdon here, just to see what it goes for. We're going to see the Sticky Web, so I guess that makes sense. Try to slow down some of my faster Mons, and I actually do have quite a few fast Mons, Typhlosion, Roserade, and Manectric. We're going to see the Endeavor, which actually surprised me. Endeavor's going to bring me down into red here, and that's actually not good because Hippowdon is my bulky Pokemon in this. I was really wanting to keep Hippowdon around so I can send it out to sponge a hit. But really, I don't want to switch anything into that Endeavor because that could cripple any of my Mons. So we're going to let Hippowdon go down to the Leech Life. Unfortunately, it's going to get enough health that it's going to actually survive this next Sandstorm damage. I'm going to bring in Excadrill now, and that's why I wasn't too worried about that Sticky Web. Excadrill can easily come in and just Rapid Spin. Of course, my opponent does have the Sableye, but luckily for me, my opponent's not going to bring in the Sableye. So I'm going to go ahead and successfully get rid of the Sticky Webs, and they are gone. And that's another good thing about Excadrill with that Sand Rush. It's going to be so fast. Now my opponent sends out that Sableye, which would have made a lot of sense if my opponent sent it in earlier. However, my opponent went ahead and sent it in now, and it's going to go ahead and Trick. It's going to give me the Iron Ball to slow me down, and it's going to take my Life Orb. I'm going to go ahead and Earthquake. I want to see how much this does, as it actually does quite a bit of damage, even without the Life Orb. So that just gives you an idea that Sableye wouldn't have been able to do much anyway if it tried to switch in on a Rapid Spin. I could just Earthquake it and take it out the next turn, and then Rapid Spin away the Sticky Webs anyway. My opponent's going to go for a Sunny Day, which is actually pretty interesting. I'm thinking my opponent's trying to set it up for a Castform, because I did see the Castform in the team preview, but I don't know exactly what Castform is going to do. Of course, I don't want to stay in because with that Forecast ability, it's going to change itself into a Fire type. And its signature move is Weather Ball. Weather Ball changes its typing based on the weather. So here I'm going to bring in Typhlosion, expecting that Weather Ball. It's going to be a Fire type in the Sun, so it's going to not do anything to Typhlosion, and actually give a Flash Fire boost there, which is actually pretty nice. We're going to see the Snorlax come in, and of course I can't really touch Snorlax that much. I do have Hidden Power Rock on this thing, mainly for other fire types. That's the really only thing that I have the Hidden Power on here. I've got a ton of Typhlosions with different typing Hidden Powers. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my Excadrill. I don't want to take any unnecessary damage from this thing here. And it's going to start setting up stockpiles, that's actually not very good. It's just going to make Snorlax that much bulkier, and as you see here, the Earthquake barely does anything. But we're going to see the Z move get popped here, and it's actually going to be the Normalium Z, and it's actually going to go for a Z stockpile. So it's going to actually heal itself up there with that. Z stockpile is a move that I've never even really saw, but I guess that's pretty cool, that, you know, you can heal yourself up and get some extra health and extra bulk there. I'm going to try to go for the Iron Head just for the flinch, and luckily we do get it. So actually, I'm going to just go for another one, but my opponent's not going to flinch this turn, and we're going to get hit with an Earthquake. And that's actually going to do a ton of damage to our Excadrill. But honestly, You know, I don't really need my Excadrill anymore. It's done its job. It got rid of those sticky webs earlier on. It would be nice for the Klefki. However, I do have Typhlosion. I think Typhlosion would be better for that Klefki. So here, we're just going to let Excadrill go down after doing some extra chip damage. The good thing is we know that this thing doesn't have a berry. It already popped its Z-move, so we don't have to worry about having like a gluttony type berry item worth, you know, recycle. Here I'm going to go into Manectric so I can get that Intimidate, and I'm just going to Volt Switch out. I really wanted that Intimidate on this thing because, of course, this thing's actually becoming kind of a nuisance. And luckily we do get the crit, which is actually very nice. Here I'm going to go into Honchkrow expecting an Earthquake. However, my opponent switches it up and goes Giga Impact. Honchkrow actually lives that, so this Snorlax doesn't really seem to have full-on attack investment. It seems more of a bulky variant. We're going to go ahead and just go for the Brave Bird there. That would have done some decent damage on anything that swapped in, and yeah, it's going to actually take out that Snorlax, which is nice. So now my opponent's going to bring in the Klefki, and the good thing about Honchkrow is it's a dark type. We don't have to worry about Prankster. However, I am actually locked into Brave Bird, and I know it's probably not going to do much to the Klefki, so I'd rather go into Manectric. You know, get the Intimidate, it's not going to matter. But I feel like I would be better off going into this. My opponent's going to go ahead and set up a layer of spikes. I didn't really want my opponent to have a chance to set up a full 3 layers of spikes, and that's another reason why I went ahead and switched. We're going to see this thing go for the Rain Dance. And actually, this is on the turn that I went for an Overheat. So it's actually going to reduce the power of the Overheat. I'll try to get as much damage as I can, about half. It's not going to be enough, especially after we lose some of our special attack right there. We're going to see a second layer of spikes, which is actually not that good. I'm going to Volt Switch here, mainly to, you know, get some extra momentum going, as I actually get another crit, which is actually very nice. We only have to worry about 2 layers of spikes, so that works out very nicely for me. So now my opponent's going to go ahead and send out the Seismitoad, and of course if this thing goes for a water type move, it's actually going to get a boost from that rain. However, my opponent's actually going to go for a Poison Jab instead, probably hoping that that would be enough to take out the Honchkrow. However, the Honchkrow actually survives, and we're going to be able to fire off one last Brave Bird before letting Honchkrow go down to its own recoil. So Honchkrow doing some good work right there, taking care of that pretty threatening Mon right there. Here we're going to see my opponent's last Pokemon. It's going to be that Castform. Of course, in the rain, it's going to become a water type. And of course, in the rain, using a Weather Ball, it'll be a water type Weather Ball, and it will probably do a lot of damage, if not completely take out Typhlosion. However, I'm going to pop my Z move here. Of course, I could have just went for the move normally, but I kind of wanted to show off what set this Typhlosion was. This is a Z Sunny Day set. If you don't know, Z Sunny Day will actually boost its speed, and then it will have that sun to help boost, you know, boost those fire type moves. And another reason why I went ahead and did that was because it's going to change this Castform into a fire type, and if it goes for a Weather Ball, it's just going to boost my Flash Fire right here. So that works out very nicely. I don't know if this thing can even really touch my Typhlosion. I have no idea what moves it normally gets. I just go for that Hidden Power Rock, and it's going to do a ton of damage. It tries to go for a Hurricane. Luckily, Hurricane's accuracy is dropped really low in the sun. So it's going to miss, and I can finish it off with one more Hidden Power Rock. So good game, Battousai. That was actually a very interesting team. I actually thought it was interesting you bringing Kricketune and Castform. Those were actually very interesting Pokemon, and that was really cool. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.